Hi everyone, I'm Ash Wilking and this is Well+Good's Trainer of the Month Club. I love to run, I love lifting weights, I love boxing, I love high intensity, but what's one thing that's important regardless of what type of training you're doing? Mobility. So today I'm going to take you through a quick mobility challenge. Let's get started. The one thing I always say is it's not about being flexible, but it's about finding strength in your mobility. So let's go through this 10-minute mobility circuit. We'll focus on multiple joints, controlling and articulating all those rotations. Ready to get started? Let's do it. Standing feet hip width apart, knees are slightly bent. Make nice strong fist with those hands, abs are in. Remember, this is all going to be about engaging the entire body while we rotate through a joint. Let's start with the neck. Pulling that chin down towards your chest, imagine that you're squeezing a tennis ball. Now don't let your shoulders move, your hips move, or your ribs move. I want you to look over to your right pocket, keeping your chin to your right shoulder. Then lift your head, imagine you're drawing a rainbow up and over the top of the ceiling, keeping those abs in. Look down to your left pocket, squeeze everything, and chin comes down to chest. Let's do that other direction. Lift to your left pocket, draw the rainbow up and across that ceiling, keeping your abs engaged, ribs tight, shoulders back, down to your right shoulder, back through the center. 2 more times. To the right shoulder, we lift, draw that line up and over, moving through our neck here, multiple directions through the center. Last time, we come up to the left shoulder, draw that rainbow all the way around, squeeze it down, back through the center, and chin up. Arms go out. Keep those hands nice and strong. We're gonna pull those shoulders back, down, forward, and up. We're gonna focus on just this direction for 30 seconds. So again, the name of the game is tension. Creating tension, using those abs, firing up through your legs, using your breath, right? We're working on moving those scapulas back and down. You guys ready to switch directions? Let's do it. Down, back, pull up, and reach. Again, you're kind of making a circular motion, but I like to think of it in 4 different points. Again, going for about 30 seconds in both directions. How are we feeling? Feeling those shoulders fire up yet? We'll come back to those guys a little bit later, but in just a second, I want to take you to some wrist movements. Here we go. 3, 2, and elbows come in. Here's what I want you to do. Make nice, strong, high five hands. I want you to flex those hands, yes? So we're gonna take them and roll them in. Notice I'm keeping my fingertips pulling towards my elbows, and then I'm gonna snap them down, hold, right? Kind of like the bend and snap, this is how I like to think of it. So you're gonna flip those hands, squeezing your fingertips towards your elbow. We're gonna internally rotate, right? Holding that flexion, and then bam, again, bend and snap, except we're kind of flipping and rolling. About halfway through here. So if you're doing a lot of plank work, push-up work, right, you need to have a lot of mobility in those wrists. You never want to have any pain points. So if at any moment, right, you're feeling a little bit of pinching here, that's where you know you kind of need to do a little bit more work. All right, we have about 10 more seconds. We're going to take it into our first set of hip cars. How are we feeling with those wrists? Pretty good? Forearms fired up, and shake them out. All right. Making those nice strong fists with those hands, I want you to pull your shoulder blades back and down. We're pressing into our left foot. We're gonna work on flexion, holding a tennis ball behind our knee, and extension, still holding the tennis ball. Imagine we're kicking back. Again, pull up and in. Now, if you're at home, you can use a wall to help you balance here. You can also use a chair. Anything that will help keep you stable. I'm gonna take you through a little challenging standing series. So again, we're just working on pulling up through that knee, right? If you're a runner, you have to really have great flexion and that extension driving through that back glute. Again, imagine you are holding a tennis ball behind that knee. Good, abs are in tight. We're here for another 15 seconds. Then we're gonna take this through some hip cars, big circles with those hips. Working on internally and externally rotating. Let's hold. There we go, inflection. Keeping your left hip back, I want you to open your knee out to the side. Whoo, open. Keep that knee lifted nice and high. Start to internally rotate that thigh and kick your knee back. As you find that extension, we're gonna find that balance, lift it up. Let's do that one more time. All the way out, keeping that flexion, right? We're gonna turn that femur internally, rotate through that hip, holding those fists nice and tight, pull it in and hold. Let's do the opposite direction. Kick back, hold. Good, start to externally rotate that hip as that heel drops in. Pull it all the way in, find that balance, abs in. One more time, ready, kick it back. Good, finding that tension behind the leg. Good, we're gonna externally rotate through that hip, lift it nice and high, pull it around. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Other side, other side. All right, arms are nice and strong, right? Balancing on that right leg, we're gonna find that lift through the left leg and that extend through the left leg. Again, I like to find my imaginary tennis ball. I'm working on just pulling with my abs, lifting as high as I can, and then holding that tension but driving it back. Don't let your hips move here, right? So you don't want to actually tilt your hips at all. Instead, you want to keep nice and tall and find a little bit of that tension. Ooh, finding that balance. Anyone else's arms fired up here? Yeah, they should be. Abs are in nice and tight. Don't worry, we're gonna stretch those out one more time before we're out. Good, remember, we're just finding this flexion and this extension. Final bit, we're gonna take it into those hip cars. Ready for it? All right, one more time. Kick it back, lift it up, and hold. All right, keeping through that flexion, we're gonna rotate that left knee out. Remember, keep your right hip back. Try to squeeze it as far back as you can without turning. Then you internally rotate that femur, lift that heel up, pull it around, find that pull. Good. Ready, hold those shoulders down, abs in, brace, lifting it out to the side. Ready, internally rotate through that thigh, pull it up, around, and opposite direction. Let's do it. Kick that heel back, hold. As you start to externally rotate your hip, your heel drops, start to lift high. Keep that right hip back, bring it in. One more time, here we go. Kick it back, hold. Good, start to externally rotate through your hip on the left side. Left heel comes down, lift nice and high. 3, 2, and 1. All right, shake that guy out. Lots going on in those legs. Now let's focus on the ankles. As a runner, incredibly important to make sure that you have good dorsiflexion and you can press through those ankles without any pain. So let's start 30 seconds on the right side. We're just gonna press that gas pedal down. I want you to turn your toe to the outside, start to lift that gas pedal, hold, windshield wiper across, drive it down and windshield wiper. Good. Now try your hardest here not to let your femur move, but instead just working through that ankle. Other direction, turn it in, lift. Ooh, you hear that popping? Good. Windshield wiper across, lift the toe, windshield wiper across, press the toe. We got 3, 2, and switch, other side. Nice and easy. So we're gonna flex through that foot and extend, right? Working on that pressing. Now we're just gonna push that gas pedal down. Try to keep the femur not moving, right? We're gonna turn out and down, lift up, windshield wiper across, press down. Good, windshield wiper to the bottom. Hardest part, to be honest, is not moving your thigh. Almost there, we got about 5, so let's turn other direction. Good, drive, rotate. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Good. You can do this for a lot longer, but it's really important to just move those ankles around. All right, let's come down to a kneeling position. We're gonna do one more bit on the shoulders, then we're gonna take it into a little spinal movement, and you guys are done with your mobility. So we're gonna take these arms out into a scarecrow. Squeeze your belly in nice and tight. We're gonna pull that scarecrow in. I'm from the South, so I call these gators, right? Pull your elbows in, fingertips in, press. Then I want you to take your hands together and try to lift overhead, keeping your ribs together. Your elbows are gonna spread just a little. As you bring those elbows in and down, squeeze, and then pull nice and wide. Again, scarecrow to a gator, pressing those elbows in, and then as you extend your arms overhead, reach as high as you can without moving the elbows apart, then open the elbows, press back, ribs in, pull, Elbows in tight. And again. Whew. Once you start finding that tension, once you start finding that pull through those abs, the press into those hands, the retraction of the shoulder blades, you start feeling that tension. You start feeling that bit of a workout, right? That's that movement. Rather than just being flexible, we want to be strong in our flexibility. Good, last bit. Open, close. And nice. All right, taking this down to a quadruped position, we're gonna find some movement through our spine, a little spinal waving. We're gonna come down onto those hands and knees, quadruped position, right? I want your belly nice and tight, and then I want you to think about giving me a little cat-cow here. So you're going up and down. Now, we're gonna move through that in a little series. So, I want you nice and neutral. Start to dip your chin down to your chest, hold. As you start to roll through your spine, lifting that tailbone up and under, hold. Let's move the opposite direction. Ready? Lift your chin up to the ceiling as high as you can, and then eventually you start rolling through that spine. Good. Opposite direction. Ready? Tuck your tailbone under. Start to find that roll through your spine. Chin goes down. Last direction. Lift that chin one more time. Roll through all the way up. Last bit, hit those cat-cows. There you have it, your quick 10-minute mobility challenge. Have a little extra time? Feel free to hold those movements for even longer. A great way to not only find flexibility, but find strength in that mobility. Stay tuned for more videos, and as always, subscribe to Well+Good.